What's going on, YouTube? Time for the daily recap. Beautiful, outstanding setup for today. Took down 1,800 ticks, and I'm going to explain the thought process for this, and I'll turn on my execution arrows just so you can see that I did take the trade. So let's get into it, right? Now we can see that we're in a high time frame bullish trend, right? Now, yesterday I didn't get any trades because yesterday I had bearish bias. The reason being is because we expanded and we didn't retrace and we left this engineered liquidity overnight. So when we were here just before the open, I was expecting maybe one more manipulation up and then a retracement leg to take out that engineered liquidity, and then we can continue higher. However, there was no bearish setup there. It popped way up, so now you know that this expansion leg is not done and it's a continuation expansion leg and there's no retracement coming, right? So obviously, being that I was bearish, I'm not going to fade this. I have to let it go. There was no setup. There's no point in jumping in on any of this, so you just let the day go and then you see what the next day presents. Now, I'm going to carry that bearish biasness over to the following day because now we have red folder news for today. We still do not have a retracement leg and we have nothing but liquidity that has not been swept, right? All the way down, matching the extreme silver lining level, right? Taking out previous day low. So I am, of course, bearish, waiting for that phase of price delivery. And I talk about this, like even though we're in a bullish trend, high time frame trend, what phase of delivery are you looking for, right? Just because it's a bullish high time frame trend doesn't mean you're automatically bullish, right? What phase in that trend is it in, right? So if this is the finishing of the expansion, now I'm waiting for that retracement to then get bullish again. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Yesterday, we have traders that were entering in, basically breakout traders, right? Price closed up here with no pullback whatsoever. So now you know you have trapped traders here, right? We created a gap. Then we have Asia high making the high of day or initial high of day, and they pull it back down. They don't take this low or tap into this fair value gap, right? They create relative equal lows right here. Then they start punching it higher. So now we can go ahead and mark out that range. So now you get the idea for the big play. If this blue line gets broken, see you later, right? So what do they start doing here? They create another accumulation range here. And you can even mark this high, sorry. So now like what's going on here, right? This is all London. I'm not trading that, but I do want to be at the charts around 8 o'clock to get myself prepared or in position for that 8:30 news in case it begins to move. So I know that this is Asia high, so I'm watching ES and I'm expecting a possible manipulation. I don't know yet. I have to let it develop. But what do I know? I know that I'm bearish, so I'm waiting for it to come back down. And this level, if it gets broken, that is the beginning of the descent. Plus, it's going to be breaking the hold flip zone. We have bearish high time frame swings already trying to get placed in. If they stay intact, it is going to go lower, right? So let's go ahead and advance it. Boom. They failed to take Asia high. And ES did take Asia high, right? and they pull it right back in the range. So now you know this is all aligning, and boom. Now you know this is where you're really looking for entry, because if this breaks, we are coming down to at least silver lining level 1, taking out Asia low and coming into this fair value gap here, and then off it goes, breaks all the way down, takes out that engineered liquidity that I was looking at yesterday. Beautiful move as expected, coming down to the silver lining extreme zone, taking out previous day low, taking out all the engineered liquidity, breaking the ranges, leaving the trap traders. You have a second round of trapped breakout traders here, and you have long stops getting triggered there, long stops getting triggered there, long stops getting triggered there, and long stops getting triggered there. So if these break, you know it is going to break down. Let's go ahead and turn on the execution marks so that you can see. Let me get out of bar replay. There you go. Now, I entered in super early on this, right? I saw this setup, I saw the accumulation range, and I had my stop at like 70 points up here, knowing that they could potentially take Asia high, but once they touch that gap, if my bias and direction and everything in these high time frame swings should stay intact, I should be able to, you know, or I'd be looking for a re-entry if I get stopped, right? But I went to make breakfast and all the good stuff right there, so I just jumped in the trade, let it ride. I set an alert right here on this low, knowing that if it breaks, it's going to come down to just come back and take a look. Took the majority of my position out as it was taking these lows and hitting here. So as you can see, I took 3 separate partials, you know, as it was taking these levels out. And then I left a runner for previous day low in the top of this box here, where you can see the execution right there. As soon as it hit, I was out of there. So 1800 ticks on that. You see beautiful large high time frame candles coming down. You don't fade those, you get out the way. Everything lined up beautifully. Beautiful trade. That is the recap for today. So we're going to see if these levels hold and what happens overnight, and we have more red folder news tomorrow. So let's see what we can get. And actually, let's go ahead and jump down to the 1 minute 1 minute time frame, and let's talk about the entry on this. So we can get rid of these ranges now. So right here, you know, we got the proximity box, knowing that expansion is imminent right here. You have all your bearish high time frame swings showing. Failed to take high of day, which is Asia high. ES took it, so everything is perfect. Right here, it broke VWAP, so you could have entered right there and put your stops at the highs, right? Because all the trap traders are there and it should not come back. However, on this very next opening candle, you know everything is confirmed here. It's breaking the hold flip zone, so it's at least going to come here to take out these lows. So you can enter there. You just have to have the wherewithal that I like to put at least a 63 point stop. And that's generally a good stop placement. Anything bigger than that, I mean, probably going to get stopped, and you have to know what size to jump in in order to be able to hold a stop that big. If you're jumping in with like a 10 point, 20, 30 point stop, even a 40 point stop, very dangerous here, because you know they're more than likely going to pump it back up to take out any shorts that are coming in before they rip it lower, right? So that these two displacement candles are your first entry here, and then the second entry is here. You just have to know that if you enter on that 930 candle, you can face one of these guys where it pumps up pretty high. And then the very next candle, you know you are on side, they're going to rip it down at this point. So if you miss those two entries, you definitely are going to enter there. And then falls off a cliff from there. So beautiful, beautiful trade, beautiful setup. And we caught a nice 1800 tick move for today. Damn near caught the entire leg down. So on to the next one. We'll see you guys tomorrow.